Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. So glad you could join me here today for our Motivation and Mindset Monday, where we're going to go over and really dive into this whole thing about self-awareness, our true underlying beliefs, which I don't think most people know about themselves, and then also how those are revealed in our life. So you know that one of the things I'm so about that I really try to preach to other people is self-awareness. And the reason why I share this with people is that you need to know what you are looking for out of life. A lot of times we begin to maybe model other people, nothing wrong with that. However, we might be modeling a life that isn't necessarily our own, that we don't necessarily want to lead ourselves. We think that we should lead that life because it's based on someone else's belief of us or someone else's wants for our own life to maybe make up for what they don't have in their own. I think a lot of times family, friends, community, culture, etc., drives our decisions rather than us actually doing what it is that we want out of life. And for me, I want you to be happy above everything else. And so the way that I know that you will become happy is if you are actively moving in a way that will enrich your life, where you feel that you are growing, that you feel like you're developing, that you feel that you're always along the journey of the unfolding based process, that not necessarily reaching a specific end goal, but moving towards the life that you believe that you should lead. And one of the reasons that I think that this particular topic came about is that I don't know that everybody knows the life that they want to lead. And that's where self-awareness comes from. So I ask you this, what is it that you think about when you're daydreaming? What is it that you say, well, if I won the lottery, or if this was possible, or if I had better genetics or better health, or, if I could do anything in the world, what would that be? And it gives you a little bit of thought process. So once you get rid of the nonsense thoughts that come in your mind is, I would, buy a 100-foot yacht and I would sail the world. Okay, that's a nice trip, right? That's a great trip. What does it tell you? Well, it tells you kind of want to either do one of two things. One, escape from your current reality, or two, you just love to see the world. You love to travel. Okay, so nothing wrong with that. So you took that trip, but what is it then with the rest of your life that you want to do? You want to do what? You're looking to do what? Your interests are what? So we need to know that about you. And so the first thing I always say is go for the 5 areas of your life that you want to look to improve. Your overall health, you have to start with your health, because without it, you don't have the energy, you don't have the vitality, you don't have the zest for life that you need to make the others work, which is body transformation, weight gain, weight loss. If you're already where you need to be, good. That put a check mark. You're done, right? You're done. Maintain that, live life, enjoy life. Okay. Then what about relationships? Are you where you want to be? With your parents, with your siblings, with your community and friends and your spouse and partner. Are those things good? If not, okay, maybe we need to work on something there. Will it dramatically enhance our life? It very well may. And so you need to ask that for yourself. Then how about your career? Right? Is there something that gives you value? Not you giving it value. Does it give you value? Are you doing something with your life, whether it's a hobby, a nonprofit, your job, your career? What is it? Are you doing something that enriches your life for activity? And maybe it's not your job, but your job pays you well. And so then it allows you to maybe what? Pick up a hobby or pick up something that you do like to do with some of your free time. Then you need to look at overall your spirituality. Or do you feel connected in this world? Yes or no? And a lot of people don't. What would help you to feel more connected? And I think that's something worth exploring. Now, I don't think that these things happen overnight. I'll tell you right now, I've been doing this a long time. I was fortunate enough to start to learn about this whole mindset and psychology and belief factor around 21, 22 years old. It's hard to think back of how I was actually introduced to this. I really have no idea. But I was learning about things like the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of polarity, all of these different laws, right, in the universe. And again, I have shows on the law of attraction and vibration that kind of take the ephemeral woo-woo out of it. I don't have any problem with that, but a lot of people do. And I actually bring it down to the science-based level. I talk about, at again, a non-expert level, of how quantum mechanics and quantum physics actually work. I talk about how like truly does attract like. And I think that that's important for us to understand, is because, there's this old school saying, and again, this has been around, by the way, since the dawn of time. Since human recorded history, we have this whole thing, and it's said in a lot of different ways. And it's used within religion, but it's also used within the metaphysical-based realms. And it's as within, so without, as above, so below. It's basically, there's this macrocosm of the world, and then there's the microcosm, which is you. But it's also inside of your own reality as well. And this is where we get into fractals. And I'm not going to explain fractals here today. But when you look at it's beautiful too. If you've never looked into Fibonacci's code and fractals, you actually see that the deeper you get down on a particular anything built from nature, you actually see the repeating base pattern. And it's absolutely remarkable. It tells you that there is some power out there beyond us. Call it the universe, call it God, call it whatever you wish in your life. And again, I respect that. But there is some magnificence out there. I mean, there really is. There is a power out there that we do not understand, but it's built within us. And that's what I'm trying to share with you here today. I didn't learn this overnight. You're not going to learn it overnight either. How did I learn it? I just went about the process. I allowed the journey to begin to unfold. I listened to, back then there were podcasts, but I listened to CDs. That's what I listened to in the early 2000s. And I had my disc player in my car, and I had my little Walkman, and I would listen to all of these different things like Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and I listened to Ernest Nightingale and all these great people that I've chatted about for quite some time. I teach inside of IHP, the actual mindset part of it, and it's amazing. But essentially what they said is this: you need to know you. But the truth is, if you don't know you, you think you know you, but you really don't. And here's why. There's most likely a disconnect between your subconscious and conscious mind. And I'm going to share with you the most concrete example I can think about. Your outer reality, the reality that you live, is a representation of your deepest held beliefs. Now, I didn't want to believe this for the longest time because my outer reality wasn't so fantastic. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't. I was unhappy. I was angry. I was blaming everyone. I was sick. All these different things. And did I want those things? Well, consciously, no. I told everyone that will listen, I was trying to get well, that this is happening. But deep down, there was a lot of subconscious blocks that needed to be worked on. There really was. I was essentially conditioned to believe that everyone gets sick, that everyone has to deal with all these health issues as they begin to age. It's what I saw all around me. It really was. I had to break that conditioning. The others had to break the conditioning of being a victim. That I was, again, helpless against all of my different health issues and illnesses, etc. Then I had to break the conditions that, well, there are these people in life that can do this, and these people like me, well, we're only able to do this. Right? So I had to break all of that. But I didn't necessarily know that, but my outer life reflected it. I was not in control of my life. I certainly was not until maybe my mid-20s to later 20s. It didn't happen overnight. I continued to break these different conditioning-based patterns that was my subconscious mind. And if you haven't read books like The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, The Magic of Thinking Big, these are all great books to start with. There's so many. Again, I teach a lot of this inside of IHP. But here's what I want to share with you is that our actions in life are evidence of what we truly believe in. I want to repeat that again. The actions that you take every day in your life and that are your life right now, right? You're made up of actions. Like you're a human being, right? It's evidence of what you believe. You take action based on what you believe can happen. And if you ever take an action based on something that goes against your subconscious mind, here's what happens. You fail at it, and then you say, oh, see, this is why I can never get well. I could never make more money. I could never have that job. I could never meet that right person. You just reinforce what? what your subconscious already believes. Your subconscious will bring about its own reality. And its own reality are your deepest held beliefs. Now, you can consciously say one thing. I know a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people in my practice. I was one of them, right? I was the first that say one thing, but don't necessarily deeply believe it. They want to believe it, but they don't really believe it. So there's a disconnect between what they say and what they actually believe. Guess what they get in their life? What they actually believe. This is why a lot of people set goals, but they don't achieve those goals because they don't actually believe they can achieve them. I've gone through the goal achievement process many, many times on this podcast. I do hope that you go to stevencabral.com/podcast, stevencabral.com/podcast. Just click on Mindset and Motivation Mondays. There's like 300 plus now. Just start to work through them. Every single day in your head, start to rewire that conditioning that I had to do the same. I'm simply passing this knowledge on now to others that they can do the same. Again, much of it will begin to stick, but only over time. You need to then begin to work these things in your life. Because, as I said before, we always act based on our subconscious beliefs, based on our previous conditioning. And then I want you to be able to figure out what that conditioning is based on the excuses you begin to use in your own life. And again, I've got them all as well. Trust me. So you can say is, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy, I don't have the health. Everyone in my family, this happens to, I'm just built this way. All of those are your excuses that prevent you from going after that which you really want. And eventually over time, what it is, you begin to convince yourself that you don't really want those things in life. All those goals, those hopes, those dreams since when you were a child, to then adolescence and 20s, they start to get pushed down real deep to the point that you say, yeah, I never really wanted them anyway. And that's not true. And that's also extremely disappointing. And the reason is that I believe that you are destined to have anything that it is that you want in this life. I truly believe that. That is what your potential is. And it's only because of previous conditioning, previous what some people call failures and setbacks that you find yourself at a crossroads as whether it's even really worth it anymore to go for it. And I'm telling you it is. Because I don't care if you only have 5 years left in this world or you have 50 years left or more. You want to spend that time with as much health and happiness as you can. That means every day when you wake up, if you're not grateful for that day, there's something troubling you. There really is. There's something holding you back. Now, again, we all go through difficult points in our life. I'm not saying that. That's part of the human experience. But there has to be a way for you to look beyond that, to see the life that you truly want to live, and to begin to work forward towards it. So that's why I'm saying, when you take action, deliberate action, working towards achieving a specific goal, you're already on the path to happiness. That to me is the path to happiness. That to me is happiness. Happiness is not achieving whatever that end goal is. The career, the partner, the whatever. It's going to bring you happiness. There's no doubt about it. But along the way, the happiness is building. And it doesn't stop when you achieve the thing. Because here, again, I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm sure you already know it. When you achieve the thing, what else happens? You're like, wasn't as wild as I thought it was going to be. Or it was, that was pretty great. But now I believe I can achieve this. Or I have new goals. Or you meet that special someone that you've always been waiting to meet, or rekindle that relationship or whatever it might be. Well, it doesn't end there, right? You made it happen. So now, what are your plans to keep that going for the rest of your life, right? It's those things to look forward to. And then what happens is, it is the journey, which we can simply call actions, along the way that we get to live out our hopes and our dreams and our goals. So my biggest ask for you today is this. Assess where you are right now in your life. What is it that, if nothing could stand in your way, that you would like to achieve? Then think about the excuses that then start to bubble up when you want to go after that goal. Those are your first places to work on. Those are your subconscious beliefs telling you that you can't have it. And then you'll check out the previous Mindset and Motivation Monday podcast. You'll begin to work through that. You'll begin to rewire your mind, condition your mind to not just go after your goals, but actually achieve them. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning into today's show. I appreciate you. I appreciate this community. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. And again, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.